Hi, in this lecture, you will learn the visibility of package objects. Actually, in the previous lecture, you saw some ways of making the objects public or private. But in this lesson, we will see that deeper. We know that a variable, type, or a subprogram will be visible to all the others only if it is declared in the package spec. We use some of them outside of the package. In this lesson, we will make some more examples and see the private variables and private subprograms. So let's start with the private variables. Where can we declare variables in a package? The first one is inside of the package spec. We declare it only between the is and keywords. Since we cannot create a subprogram, we cannot declare variables inside of the subprograms here. But we can specify some parameters. It's different. So these variables will be visible to all the others and to the package body. So anyone who has the privilege can use it inside of another subprogram, SQL expression, etc. These variables are all public. The second one is inside of the package body. Here we can declare variables into two different places, to anywhere between as and keywords, and inside of a subprogram. Now, if you declared a variable outside of a subprogram, this variable is called as private, but can be used by all the subprograms inside of that package body. So this variable is called as global variable. But if a variable is declared inside of a subprogram, it's a local variable and only that subprogram can reach to that variable. For the subprograms, it's also similar. If a subprogram is not declared in the package spec, it can only be used inside of the package body. Other users will not be able to see or use your private subprogram. So you can easily create your own subprograms that can be used significantly in that package. Actually, the visibility rules and namings are valid for all the objects used in a package. So all the private variables, types, subprograms, etc. are visible only in the package body. Local objects are visible only in the surrounding subprogram, and public objects are visible for everyone. Alright, now let's make some examples and see on them. Now, as you know, this is our package spec. We have some variables, types, subprograms, etc. here. We know that these objects are visible to the others. We used these variables outside of the package in the previous lecture, so no need to show again. So these objects are public objects and visible to the all others. Now, let's pass to the body and see something new. To pass the body easily, you can click on the package icon here. It will directly open up the body. As you can see, we have a local variable inside of the getAvgCell function. Now we know that this variable is a local variable and can be used inside of the surrounding subprogram. That is getAvgCell function here. Now let's create another subprogram and try to reach to that variable. I simply write procedure print test is and our begin keyword and end keywords. And I write dbms output put line, let's say test, and concatenate that with avgcell. Now let's compile it. As you can see, we have an error. It says the identifier avgcell must be declared. And that shows that this subprogram cannot see it because it is local to the getAvgCell function and no one else cannot see it or cannot use it. On the other hand, we know that we can reach to any variable inside of the package spec. Let's change our variable then. Salary increase rate, for example. As you can see, we could compile successfully. Now, I will show you something new. What if I declare a variable inside of the package body? Let's do it and see that. I simply write here, we sell ink, for example, and the type is int, and the value is, let's say, 500. And let's use this variable inside of our procedure and compile it. As you can see, we can see the variables that declared in the package body within our subprograms. Now, I talk on the variables, but I want to remind you that these are valid for any type of objects that can be used in a package. So do not confuse about that. Alright, now where can we declare the variable? As you can see, we declared on the top. Can we do it somewhere else? Let's copy our variable and paste into somewhere under a subprogram. Let's say here. And change the name and compile again. As you can see, we had an error. It says encountered the symbol we sell ink to when expecting a begin and pragma procedure. That means you cannot declare a private variable at anywhere you want. It must be right after the is or as keywords. If there is a subprogram upon it, you cannot do it. But there can be another variable, etc. No problem on that. Now let's cut this from here and paste into here and compile again. As we can see, no problem. Now let's try to reach these variables outside of the package then. Right, we know that we can use the variables declared in the package spec. Now let's try to use the variables that we declared in the package body. I write begin and end keywords and try to dbms output dot put line and our variable mpkg dot we sell ink. Now let's run it. As you can see, it says the component we sell ink must be declared. That means we cannot reach to that variable because these are private variables and can be used only by that package body. Alright, now I will show you one more thing. We know that we can use the procedures and functions of a package, but only if they are declared inside of a package. Now, our new procedure test is created inside of the package body and it is not specified in the package spec. So the others cannot see or use that subprogram. So these subprograms are private. Now let's try to use it here. I simply write mpkg dot print test. And run. As you can see, it is unreachable. But it is unreachable at outside of the package body. We can use it inside of the body. Let's see it then. Now let's use that procedure inside of our function, for example. Not important, this is just for showing. Let's write print test here and compile it and pass to the worksheet and use that function. Let's write dbms output line mpkg dot get avg cell and the parameter is, let's say, 50. Now let's close all these, clear up and run the code. As you can see, we could use it inside of another subprogram in our package body. We called another subprogram, but that subprogram used the private subprogram. Alright, in this lecture, we saw that In general, we have three types of objects: public, private, and local objects. These objects can be a variable, type, cursor, etc. But I showed only with variables since this will be enough for now. Public objects are the objects that declared inside of the package specification. All these objects are reachable for anyone. Private objects are the objects that created inside of the package body and reachable for only by that body elements. The others cannot see or reach to that object. Local objects are the objects that created inside of the subprogram of a package. These objects are reachable by only that subprogram. It is unreachable even inside of the same package body but by another subprogram. Besides, a subprogram is reachable outside of the package only if it is declared in the package spec. Otherwise, it's unreachable outside of the package body. These are generally used for a special purpose in the package body. Alright, now you know the visibility of package objects in detail. So this is the end of this lecture. See you in the next one.